We are back with all things stimulus and money related. We have AARP Associate State Director Mark Hensley and Scott Braddock with Scott Braddock Financial, and you see the number on the bottom of your screen in case you'd like to text a question. All right, this person says, is there another second stimulus check? Will it be another 1,200, more, less? Ideas? Ugh.
The answer is really just no. There's not going to be, at least in the remaining fiscal year of 2020.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's not in any of the proposals. This person's asking, what sort of tax implications will come from the second stimulus plan?
Doesn't look like there's much of anything. You know, of course, we do have the unemployment benefits that are taxable there, but outside of that, it's mostly infrastructure that we're looking at.
Mm-hmm. And so just a reminder, if you did get unemployment this year, those monies are taxable, just like if it was your paycheck. So we don't want you to be surprised when it comes to tax time. If you didn't take taxes out, you will have taxes taken out then. This person's asking, will small businesses get relief? And there is something in the proposal right now.
Yeah, there is some mention of that in the form of a paycheck protection program. So there, as Scott said, infrastructure support for small business and other forms of assistance, but no direct payments to Americans.
No direct payments. All right. One more thing on here. Is there a possibility of forbearance and no interest on student loans will expand beyond December 31st? That is in one of the proposals.
Yes, and that's a welcomed sign with anybody that has student loans. And so that proposal, certainly, if it does pass both chambers, then it is a great benefit for Americans.
All right, let's get to this because there is something new for this year where you can give to charity and you can write it off on your taxes even if you don't itemize. So Scott, let's talk about that.
Yeah, sure. So due to the tax law and the Jobs Act that came out in 2018, most folks and individuals have been taking advantage of double the standard deductions, and most folks aren't itemizing. The lawmakers wanted to create an extra incentive this year for 2020, and they included in the CARES Act a $300 above the line contribution that can be made to receive a tax deduction. So this potentially would be a good incentive for folks. Also, in addition to that, included in the CARES Act was the ability for folks to increase their total contributions. It used to be 60% of your adjusted gross income, and now it's 100% of your adjusted gross income. So there is some incentives there to give, which was the main idea there.
Right. So if you were thinking this year, you know, we'd like to give to charity, but we, don't know if we have that, you can write it off, you can deduct it. So this is going to be helpful for both sides, the charity and also for you, whether you itemize your taxes or not.
That's correct. And another idea that I've always talked to my clients about is called the bundle strategy. And this could be very helpful. This is where you, instead of donating something every year, you wait and you make a max contribution every 2 years. This could really be effective. I would just encourage folks that if they want to see if that would be beneficial, to check with their financial or tax professional first.
Okay. All right. Mark, let's talk about, it's not quite a stimulus, but it is money going to parents with children under the ages of 16 here in North Carolina alone. But the deadline is looming for those who don't usually file taxes.
Right. So this is North Carolina specific. It is specific to parents. So 3 things to pay attention to. First of all, were you the parent of a child who was 16 or under in 2019? Second criteria, you did not file state tax. If you did not file a state tax return in 2019, and if you lived in North Carolina all of 2019, then you are eligible to receive this small but yet still notable $335. The original cutoff has already passed, but they extended the deadline. Again, this is specific North Carolina, $335 North Carolina child tax credit, and you must request that by December the 7th. And there's more information on your website, but this is a little bit of assistance for parents who are trying to do homeschooling and virtual teaching and also feed their children who normally would eat at school.
Yeah, and that's one of it's a flat 335, no matter how many kids you have in the house, it is a flat 335. And he mentioned that the deadline is December the 7th, and it's at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's a really weird deadline. So I didn't want you to think you had all day Monday to do it. So we want you to do it this weekend. All right. So this person is asking, if the bill goes through, will that $300 of unemployment be retroactive?
You know, that's a great question. From what I read and with the folks that I have spoken to, there's really no outline there. So unless, Mark, you saw something I haven't or heard something that I haven't, you know, that hasn't been outlined as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, before we went on air, we were looking to see what is the absolute latest. Those details just haven't been ironed out yet, which is kind of normal. You would expect so, but because this is such an unusual time, anything could go, but one would assume that. But stay tuned, as this is continuing to be a developing story.
All right. Thank you both for your help and your expertise. If you missed any of that, of course, it will be on our website, WFNYnews2.com.